Hey everyone, this is Matt from My Model Y Adventure doing a product unboxing. I have a custom steering wheel for my 2024 Model Y Performance, and this comes courtesy of pimpmyev.com. They sent me this custom steering wheel. Let's go ahead and do an unboxing for you guys. So this was ordered and shipped extremely quickly. Looks like it comes with a microfiber cloth here. Pretty cool. In the corner up here, this is a it's like custom Pimp My EV wallet. That's pretty cool. Put it off to the side here. And then here is the custom steering wheel. I have a white interior Model Y, and so I went with a white custom steering wheel here. And this comes also with a custom airbag cover, which is this one here. Inside, you can see it does not come with really any of the hardware. We're going to be taking the hardware off of the current steering wheel that came stock with the Model Y. Inside, you can see here, it's a perforated white material on the airbag cover. On the steering wheel itself, we can see we have custom white markings up here, carbon fiber kind of everywhere all around the steering wheel. Whites on the sides. This feels great in the hands. Very smooth on the custom fiber. Got the Tesla wheels, scroll wheels I should say. You know what everything looks like here on the back. Definitely does not feel cheap made. This has definitely a bit of weight to it, which is great. That's how you know it's a good quality product, that it doesn't feel cheaply made. Trying to bend it here, it's not really bending at all. Awesome, so let me go ahead and remove the steering wheel that's on the Model Y right now. One other thing, it looks like it does come with the 10 millimeter hex for the removal of the current steering wheel bolt that's holding it down. So why don't we go ahead and move over to there. All right, so we are in the vehicle. The first thing we want to do is turn off the screen. So we're going to go down here to the car menu, go over to safety, and then within here, scroll all the way down to the bottom, click the power off button. It's going to come up. Make sure you want to turn the power off. You do want to open up. I do have my passenger door open, driver door open. That way, when you turn it off, if you open up those doors, or as it says on the screen, press your brake pedal, it will turn on the screen. So we're going to go ahead and click power off. Perfect. Everything shuts down. Now on the side of the steering wheel, you can see down on this side, there's one on the other side as well. We want to go ahead and put in something to put in there. I have a Allen key here. What we're going to basically be doing is pushing in each of those sides, and what that's going to do is release the airbag here. So why don't we go ahead and put that in. I'm trying to look through the camera as I do this because I can't see it. And when you push it in, kind of looking for a metal bar to push. We can see here, this side is released. This side is not yet. So then we're going to do the same thing on the other side here. And we can see the airbag is released on both sides, but it's not released on the bottom. So I need to push it again through here. So you don't have any force trying to pull this off. So let me try the other side again. All right, I hit the button on the phone to stop recording on accident here. right, there we go. So now this should just come right off. Perfect. Now inside here, a couple of connections. So we have here the first, this yellow one here is connecting down to the airbag. Then we have this maroon color one over here. And in essence, when we were pushing in from the side of the airbag, it's pushing against here, the metal one on the side, as well as, let me get a different angle here, this one right over here. So you can see it's pushing it this way on the top. That's what we want to do to release the airbag. So now that that is released, we want to go ahead and undo the airbag. So we can push down on these two yellow marks here and here. Squeeze them together. Let me switch hands here, make it a little bit easier. Maybe. All right, let me put this. All right, so the yellow one comes out of here. Had a little bit of trouble with it. I did find it was helpful to use like needle nose pliers to squeeze. In essence, when you're looking at it here, on the left and the right side are two spots that are basically clips that are holding it into here for the airbag. And then this one over here is for the scroll wheel. So the same thing. Kind of want to push the bottom and the top, the clips on there, down here, up here. It's giving a little bit of trouble too, it seems. All right, let me undo those ones and I'll be right back. All right, what I found helpful, again, was using needle nose pliers to basically squeeze the top and the bottom with one hand. And as you squeeze that, you can kind of pull it with this other one, and then this should just pop right out. So then in essence, you're left with the only thing holding the steering wheel on is this here. I do have a impact here, just going to make easy work of it versus trying to use like a wrench. And that just comes right off. Very easy, quick work. If you do not have one of those, that is fine. You can use kind of a socket. An extension would probably be helpful to get some leverage to help with that. Additionally, maybe having a second person here holding the steering wheel as you try to use that wrench. And then the next part would just be pulling the steering wheel off. So when you do pull it off, kind of shake it and wiggle a little bit, and you're just going to basically be pulling it right towards you. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so wiggling it. Oh, there we go. Comes right off. And you can kind of see in the threads here, there is only kind of one way to put it on when you're aligning it. So you don't have to worry about trying to put it on and then your steering wheel would be crooked. So now that we have the steering wheel, we have the airbag over there, we can go back inside and then swap some things over to the new wheel, and then we'll come back out and throw it on. All right, so now that we have the steering wheel back inside, what we want to do is take off these black pieces here. And to do that, on the back of the steering wheel, kind of can see here, let me zoom in a little bit. There's a black piece that's right here. One of those exists on all of the corners, top and the bottom. Just want to kind of pry those so they pop open. Just have a flathead screwdriver here. So you can see this one came out and popped up. Same thing on the bottom. And on the top. All right, let me flip it back over. So now you can see this part is just basically hanging on here. It's got some wires attached to it. And what we want to do is remove the spring underneath it here. So you can go ahead, take a flathead, try to pry it to be able to release this, because we are going to need this for the new steering wheel. All right, so that should just come out. We're going to put this on the side over here. We also need to take the trim piece off, which is just basically what's holding this onto here, because behind it, you can kind of see back here, are the wires that plug into the scroll wheel, and we will need to take off on the new steering wheel, which I have right above here, the same trim piece, so we can go ahead and swap some pieces over. Now, to take off the trim piece, there are some screws holding it on, which are T25 screws. Kind of can see one of them is right here. There's another one right here. Another one right here. Final one right here. So you want to go ahead and undo those. I'm going to move the black plastic trim that was on there out of the way, so you can go ahead and undo all 4 of these ones. All right. So there's one of them. Two, 3, and 4. So then, gently, you can just go around the wheel here. And remove the trim cover. Feels like there's something on the bottom holding it, but I don't believe there is. Let's see down there. There we go. Just kind of pops out. And then down here is for the heated steering wheel. The wheel that I purchased does not have the heated steering wheel function on it. It's not a big deal to me. I don't really ever use it. My wife does in her car, but to me, it's not a big loss. But in essence, we're going to want to head and remove this piece here. This is going to connect onto the new steering wheel trim, as well as some of these connections here. All right, so the bottom part here, it does need a T10 bit to remove the top screw here on the right-hand side. I'm gonna take that off, put it there. Same thing on the left-hand side over here. Then the piece should just come right off. We're gonna go ahead, follow the wires over here. We can unplug the scroll wheel on this side. which is just a connector you can push in. Piece right above my finger here. So we do that on both sides. That should just come right off. And then the last piece here is a connector that's inside this part. And for that one, I believe we need to take off the bottom two ones here to be able to undo that. These are, again, our T10 here on the bottom as well. Then the trim piece should just come off that was here on the front. Go ahead and slide the wires up here to remove this little kind of plastic insert, because this is for the heated steering wheel functionality, which I do not have. All right, so this is actually a very easy connection. I found out you just basically can pull it apart and then it slides apart. So this is the old steering wheel with basically the inner functionality removed, trim piece removed. We can put all of that off to the side here. And then we have the new steering wheel. It actually does include that metal spring that holds on the airbag to everything. So we actually don't need the one from the original steering wheel. Again, I just removed the trim piece by pulling it up. This did not have the screws attached to it. But we're just gonna basically do the reverse order. So we have the piece here. It's just gonna basically mount and attach because we're not having the heated steering wheel. That piece is just basically going to sit right in here next to my finger. You can actually slide it down through here. It won't slide down, I'll just put it down right there. That's fine, it's out of the way. And in essence, we're going to reattach the bottom piece down here. It just slides in and we can add our screws back to this. One side. And got the other side. And we can reinsert our connections for each side here for these scroll wheels. Move this out of the way into there. Perfect. Nice satisfying click. That's how you know it's kind of in there. And the new steering wheel here. So in essence, we have the connection that's going to go into here. Let me get this all situated, and then we can go ahead and attach everything. All right, so we're going to basically push our steering wheel trim pieces back in. Those look all attached. You can kind of see around here in the bottom. We can squeeze them in. All right, great. Then we're going to reuse the 4 screws that we took out of the original steering wheel, which are the T25s. Have one here, and we're going to, whoops, dropped it. Put those back into where they were originally, and go ahead and secure these in. right, that one's in. The same over here. All right, that one's nice and tight. Do the same thing on this one in the corner. That one's nice and tight. And then the last one over here in the corner. It does make it nice. There are basically some mounting points you can see here that the trim pieces sit in essence, lock it into place to help you screw down. All right, great. Those are all attached. Then we can go ahead and push in the black plastic pieces that basically hold all of the wires and everything together here. So that one was pushed in. That one's pushed in. And then down here at the bottom, oh, had a wire in the way there. That's why that one wasn't going in. A little tricky. Let's see. Oh, that one's not all the way in. All right, there we go. So then let me go ahead and get the steering, not the steering wheel, the airbag from the original one, and we can swap it over to the new custom faceplate. All right, not gonna lie, this was very difficult to remove. What I ended up having to do is on the sides, basically cut the plastic pieces that were holding this on. Because from what I can see and understand, this is basically a one-time piece that you add on top of the airbag. And there's no way to really remove it unless you have a ton of screwdrivers that are small that you can use to, in essence, pry up on all of these pieces all the way around and then actually remove it from the airbag itself. So do be very careful and gentle with the actual airbag. But in essence, what we're gonna do is slide this piece on over it. You do wanna make sure when you're putting it on that these pieces, which are on the airbag, go over the plastic piece for the airbag cover, because otherwise, if they go under it, you're gonna have to buy a new airbag cover or try to remove it from it. But in essence, you wanna work all the way around to, in essence, push the airbag cover. So these pieces here lock over this. This is kind of a reverse hook that goes on top of here, and you should just be able to push it down. So let me go ahead, clean up my hands and wash them before I do any of that. So don't get any dirt or grease all over the white cover as I try to push it on. And then once that's done, we can bring the airbag that has the new custom cover, the new steering wheel out to the car and install everything. All right, so we are back in the car. I did go ahead and in the frunk remove, I have a 2024 model. So I did have to remove the HEPA filter, which is just basically two 10 mil bolts. Let me go ahead and show you that real quick. All right, so there are two 10 mil bolts that basically attach the HEPA filter. One of them is over here. There's another one over there in that corner. The service manual that Tesla has on their website basically walks you through how to remove the HEPA filter. You just remove the two bolts. You can see there's a slot or a hole here, hole over here. You lift that out. I do have the lithium ion battery because this is the 2024. You basically unhook that. You want to do this to make sure when you plug in the new airbag, it does not go off in your face. So I did remove that. It's been, I don't know, like 3 or 4 minutes since I did that. I'm gonna go ahead and then go back into the car and show you what the next steps are then. All right, so the battery is disconnected in the front that we just walked through. All I've done basically so far is put the steering wheel back on. Remember, there's only 2 spots that you can align the steering wheel to that basically have the slots. Here is that 10 mil bolt. I did plug in the connector for the scroll wheels. I do have my impact here, so I'm just gonna go ahead, tighten this up. All right, so that's tightened up. Steering wheel is on. The next part is to plug in the airbag. So again, we have the yellow plug. That's gonna plug into right here. Then you just basically take the steering or the airbag, push it in, and it's gonna lock with these 3 metal pins here. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna lock into these positions here. Because the car is off, when you push it in, you're not gonna hear the horn, which is good, of course, because that means the car 12 volt system is disconnected. So let me go ahead and plug this in, push it on, and I'll be right back. All right. Sorry, kind of hard to hold the camera and use 2 hands to plug everything in and push it in. But I did plug in the yellow connector, pushed in the airbag. You can see I'm pushing, nothing's happening, it's not turned on. Now we can go ahead, reconnect the 12 volt battery, as well as then reinstall the HEPA filter, and this project should be done. So just to show, here's that 12 volt battery. It does just kind of push on down here. Kind of hard to do with one hand while I hold the camera here. Then once it's on all the way, you push the black cap this way, which will lock it into position, and you push the green tab this way, which locks it. So to take it off, it's the same process. You pull the green tab out, pull it this way, then pull straight up. All right, so the HEPA filter is reinstalled. Again, there's the 1 bolt over there, 1 bolt over there. At least on mine, it does have down here the hose for the windshield wipers that you just kind of have to loop around back over there to get everything all connected. But the car did power back on. So let me go in the driver's seat and show you the finished product. All right, so here is the steering wheel kind of fully installed. We do have the MCU back up, and just to show you the horn, works. So again, this is a custom steering wheel for Model 3, Model Y from Pimp My EV. Very happy with kind of the finished product. The feel of the material of the steering wheel. It's great having kind of the smooth custom carbon fiber insert here at the top. Again, down at the bottom. This is kind of a flat steering wheel here at the bottom, so that will be nice for your legs to get a little bit of leg room back. I am a bigger guy, about 6'4", so having big long legs, it's nice to not have to worry about that, with at least to make the steering wheel comfortable for my sitting position. Again, gloss carbon fiber on the trim pieces, and then here it is a matte carbon fiber. I didn't want to have to stare at when I'm looking at the wheel, at least a glossy emblem here. So very happy kind of with the overall process. Again, really the only hard part was the removal of the airbag cover off the airbag. Having to kind of, make that a one-time use airbag cover. Took about 15 minutes or so, just cutting the side pieces that were holding on to the airbag. I just used a utility knife, kind of cut the pieces, and then slowly pulled the sides of the airbag cover off of the airbag itself, kind of working all the way around it, pulling side by side. It was definitely a tedious process. It's kind of what I would say is the only downfall of having a custom airbag cover. If you don't want that and you just want the steering wheel with the airbag, an airbag cover that comes with the original steering wheel, it's a simple process. Then you don't have to worry about putting the work and effort or destroying, in essence, the airbag cover for the old one there. So difficulty process, again, this is not very difficult. The most or I'd say the most tedious process here is just the timing to disconnect the 12-volt battery up in front, whether you have the lead acid or lithium ion, removing the steering wheel. Overall, I'd say this project took about an hour to complete, with the vast majority of the time being the custom airbag cover itself. On a difficulty level, I'd say if you're familiar with kind of just working with basic hand tools, I'd probably put this at about a 4 out of 10 or so. Again, there's only just the one bolt that's holding the steering wheel itself on, the 2 bolts for the HEPA filter. In my case, if you don't have a HEPA filter, I'm sure the process is very similar, but the service manual that Tesla has walks you through step by step how to use or disconnect the 12-volt battery, and then just using kind of the Allen key that I had to push in on each side of the steering wheel in the beginning. It was kind of just the most difficult process. It's a very easy process to unplug everything, plug everything back in. Overall, I am very, very happy with the custom steering wheel here. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. So you can kind of see everything that's here. I will put in the description the link of this custom steering wheel on the Pimp My EV, and in the next part in the video, I will walk you through how to build, if you're interested in this exact steering wheel, the configuration process to do so. All right, so we're on the Pimp My EV website. I'm going to walk through how I created that steering wheel with the settings. So on the Pimp My EV homepage, what we want to do is go to custom products. You can go to custom steering wheels for Tesla. And then from here, I'm going to choose my specific model, which is the Model Y. Of course, if you have a different Tesla model, you can choose the appropriate wheel. So from here, you're going to pick the model year. For me specifically, I have a 2024. And the region of where mine was made was in the US. That's where I'm based. You, of course, can configure yours based on where your car is manufactured. And then it's going to ask for the steering shape. My specific one is the flat bottom, so I'm going to choose that one here. It's going to ask for the carbon fiber finish. For my specific one, it is a gloss carbon fiber, so I'm choosing that option here. Stripe color, of course, for mine, it's a white stripe. The grip for the leather, this is on the side of the wheel. For mine, it's the white smooth. Then for the steering thumb trims, I do not have that, but you can see in the little picture here, if you wanted that, it's kind of these little embedded options right there for your thumbs to kind of rest on. Then for the steering wheel trim color options, for mine, it's a matte. So the option here is the matte carbon fiber that's already selected. Then for the stitching color options, I have a black stitching that's kind of around the white steering wheel, so I'm going to choose black here. For the steering inlays, I have a gloss carbon fiber. And if you wanted steering wheel heat, as mentioned earlier, I do not have that function, but if you wanted it, you can add it right here. And then it's going to ask for a custom airbag cover. So mine, again, does have that custom airbag cover. If you select that option, you get to choose what leather you want over the plastic cover. Mine's the white perforated option. And it's going to ask for the badge. You can have the debossed kind of Tesla logo here. I do not. I just have the regular T logo. And it's going to ask what you want for your kind of T badge. There's various options here. For me, I have the matte carbon fiber. Do you want stitching? Kind of on the bottom of it, as you can kind of see here, this image here has some white stitching. I did have custom stitching on mine, and the color for that is black. And then if you wanted to add a turn knob, I'm not kind of a big fan of that, but if you wanted to, you can select it, and then you click add to cart. It's going to reconfirm what your options are here for the custom steering wheel. And of course, I have the airbag cover. And when you go to checkout, in this box down here for the discount code, if you enter in the code adventure, click apply, it's going to take 15% off the price of your steering wheel. And you can see it's a pretty hefty discount to bring it down to, at least for this configuration, about $679.46, saving almost $120. And I did want to mention the adventure code can be used for anything on the Pimp My EV website. Any products you add to your shopping cart and you use that code, it takes 15% off. I have been using the steering wheel for roughly about a week or so. Put on, I believe it's around 300 miles so far, and I am extremely happy and impressed with the steering wheel quality. I've had zero issues with it, which is fantastic. None of the threads that are kind of on the steering wheel itself or on the airbag cover, nothing's coming apart, which is what you kind of expect. Cleaning it, super simple. You can just use a microfiber cloth to clean off the steering wheel. And the one feature I do greatly appreciate, let me just kind of go back here to the Pimp My EV site and scroll back to the steering wheel. With this type of steering wheel, kind of have let me go back to here because you can kind of see it here. With the stock steering wheel, the cutout here, kind of where your thumb would go. I greatly appreciate kind of having this cutout. You can kind of see it here better in this Model S X picture, the cutout here. It makes holding the steering wheel very comfortable in your hand because you can rest your thumbs kind of right here on each side, and holding it and turning it is fantastic. You don't have to worry about with the yoke necessarily about figuring out which way's up or down or keeping your hands when you're doing kind of a 180 turn. With having the full steering wheel, kind of having that is very nice. So I am extremely happy with the purchase, the delivery speed, packaging, the installation process, very, very simple, very smooth. Didn't really encounter anything besides the actual airbag cover itself that you had kind of some difficulty prying all of the different pieces around it. And then sliding that cover on, that was probably the most tedious process. But again, big shout out to Pimp My EV for supplying the steering wheel so I could go through the installation, or I should say unboxing, installation, and review process. Thanks, everyone.